Hello YouTube, this is HawkLeader3 coming out with another NBA 2K13 association with the Portland Trailblazers video. And the first thing that I would like to mention is I traded Jeff Green for Mo Williams because I've seen Mo Williams in my career and he doesn't really miss. He's kind of like Jason Terry, and as you saw, Jeff Green was doing nothing. I took my advice from last video and traded him. So I also fired my old coach and got a new coach who has straight A's, offense, defense, potential, and teacher. And those are the two major changes. So my starting lineup stays the same, except I moved Steven Jackson to small forward in the starting lineup. Put Mo Williams to point guard and Jason Terry at the shooting guard. Still have Jeff Taylor, Dominique McGuire, and Juwan Johnson in the front court. We're gonna play the game against the Brooklyn Nets. Another thing that I changed is the numbers on my players' jerseys. For instance, as you can see right now, I changed LaMarcus Aldridge's number to 21 because he represents Tim Duncan, who I think is the best power forward in the league. And that might be just because I'm a Spurs fan. And I kept Damian Lillard's number at 0 to represent Russell Westbrook because couldn't name him number 1, and I don't really think CP3 is better than Russell Westbrook, so kept Monte Ellis' number at 23. I changed Steven Jackson's number to 6 to represent LeBron James, and I changed Marcin Gortat's number to 34 to represent Shaquille O'Neal and Hakeem Olajuwon. And then some of the backups like have number 9 for Rondo and Tony Parker and Ricky Rubio, and then one of them has number 24, but it's not the backup shooting guard, which I need to make it to represent Kobe. And you'll just notice it. It's no big change. It's not like it's not like my players are gonna play like that just because they have their number. Or I hope they do. That'd be sweet. So the game starts out with back-to-back blocks, and then the next thing I want to talk about is I like to apologize for my last video. I was really mumbling a lot, so I'm gonna try to have a more commanding voice in this video. Oh my goodness, that was a lot to no one, but LaMarcus Aldridge saves the play, gets the Steven Jackson 3-point shot. I was mumbling a lot in the last video, so I'm going to try to keep the same tone of voice unless, you know, a lob goes down or something extraordinary happens, then I'll raise my voice. But it won't lower as much as it did in the last video.
Didn't do quite enough. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to stop him when he gets in tight. And just over a minute played. And
I decided that I'm not going to jump cut my videos at all. I'm just gonna keep them like they were. I'm gonna split them at the halves, have part 1 and part 2.
Well, there's so
and
much
then,
about the Nets move to Brooklyn. I mean,
because jump cutting the videos takes a lot more time, maybe I will jump cut the videos. I'm uploading them once a week, and I'll just spend 1 day filming, 1 day editing, and then 1 day uploading.
And yet, since the late 50s, no major league team
so,
their own.
oh, block!
Great fit for the Nets, guys.
That was a nice block right there. I'm gonna give it a little hop step. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to do that hop step layup, but he just pulls up for that jumper, which is not what I wanted at all.
It's Williams with the drive.
Joe Johnson for 3. Alright, the game is still tied.
Johnson's got his first bucket of the game.
Next thing I want to talk about is that 2K14 video footage of them playing a game. And Ronnie 2K is terrible at his game. I'm sorry, he just is. He turns the ball over way too much. Doesn't know what to do. Or maybe he was just terrible in that one video, but if I were to judge him on that one video alone, he's terrible at the game. There was Gerald Wallace trying to force it, but Chris Humphries is right there. He gets a lot of rebounds.
Into this community. That's what he's all about. That's who he is, retrieving those misses and exploding right back to the bucket.
But anyways, I thought it was pretty funny how one of the new main things to the game was blocking dunks, which always, let's face it, made everyone mad that you couldn't do in 2K13. And they show that you can block dunks on the very first possession. That was funny. And I realized that that one leaning layup is gone. There's a whole bunch of different animations. But other than that, the game does not look that much different from 2K13. But I thought the same thing whenever I made the transition from 2K12 to 2K13. I didn't think it looked that much different. And then I played 2K13 for about a few months, and then went back to 2K12. And I was like, 2K12 is horrible. That's Mo Williams' first shot. Drains the three-pointer. A on the shot IQ.
I don't see any reason they won't be able to rebound.
Ooh, he will with a spin move right there. I love whenever they do those spin moves in the backcourt because if you can bump them the right way, they'll turn it over. But I saw the animations that they had, like the one with Chris Kaman falling for that pump fake. I complained about that a little bit in the last video, how Monte Ellis threw up and under. And I was like, the whole reason I threw that up and under was so he could get fouled. So I'm hoping that's fixed or whatever. But other than that, it's not that different from 2K13.
And he's got a nice in-between game with
let me get back to this game footage. Monte Ellis shoots it up, no good. Speaking of Monte Ellis, I did start another association with the Bucks. I will not upload those videos to YouTube though. D Wilkin the and one right there. But I will not upload those videos to YouTube. Right now, I beat the first team. It's a 14-game association. I beat the first team, who was the Hawks. It went down on the wire. They had a huge lead, but they came back. But we eventually won the game. And now my next game's against the Heat. That's why I'm kind of stopped playing after that. Because after coming off a big win like that, I did not want to lose to the Heat.
To me, like the Blazers, will have to make some adjustments.
Getting why is Mo Williams already getting double teamed? That's another thing that I hope is fixed from 2K14. The double teams are way too easy to get out of. Sometimes that's good. It's good whenever people are double teaming you, but it's bad whenever you want to double team people. And I'm not talking about the CPUs. I'm talking about like my team. And there goes Juwan Johnson saving that play. He's on the floor. It's Steven Jackson. Hop step. Yep, that leaning layup. That I didn't see that even once in that 2K14 footage, which I'm very happy about. Because basically when I see that layup, I'm just like, let me just get the rebound that's not going in. Unless they do it and nobody's in front of them, then every now and again it will go in. I think I've only seen that shot go in like twice. And I've seen it triggered like over 100 times. It gets really annoying. That's why whenever on my career, I was going to make my player just not dunk. He was a scoring point guard. So I was just going to make him not dunk. But then I got hit with the leaning layup. And it was like 5 times in one game. So I was like, okay, let me bring his dunk up to 50. And he was dunking whenever he could. Posterized a few centers. Not the major ones like Dwight Howard. There we go. Oh my goodness. Chris Humphries is just such a hustler. And this might be a lob. This might be a lob to Monte, but he doesn't keep on running. The play. Oh no. Who's that? Who's that? Okay, it's Mo Williams. I'm going to step back a little bit. He's got that shot creator, but I get blocked.
It's going to be out of bounds. The Trailblazers will
that step back is kind of a risk and reward because they don't fall for the step back and they do chase you down, then it's basically not going in. But if you can get it off and you have shot creator, it's going down every time. Here we go, spot up shooter, Jason Terry. That's cash. That's moolah. So we're nearing towards the end of the first quarter, and pretty close game right now. But all my games in most of my associations have just been really close. Except for that Knicks association I was talking about. But that Knicks association was just too good. Like,
How about trying, guys?
I made that association so that way, because I had a summer reading book that I had to read. So I just started that association, had 8-minute quarter games, and then I don't know who that was, but it had 8-minute quarter games, and I would just turn on coach mode and press B every time there was a timeout and keep on pressing the A button and stuff like that. So I would go by faster, and I would just read my summer reading book. And they only lost once, and it was to the Cavaliers. Right now they're in the playoffs, but I didn't get to finish it. Because as you saw,
Last year,
I don't think you saw in the last video, but I have a lot of associations.
came over and he was
Like, I think it's about like 20 or something. And one of my goals, like if I wasn't creating these videos, one of my goals would be to finish all those associations by the time 2K14 comes out. Except for the ones that are 82 games, because most of the associations are like, I just make it a 14-game association, play it for a week, but then after 2 days I'm like, no. Some teams are like really good offensively, some teams are mainly focused on defense. My friend came over one day and he's terrible at 2K13, so I made one association based on threes, and it was just a lot of fun. Now Jason Terry is hitting his shots. Damian Lillard's getting some assists. Jason Terry's got 6 points. So now we're definitely nearing towards the end of the first quarter. And then you see Brook Lopez. I don't want to talk about Brook Lopez. I try to get him on most of my associations. He's way too overrated. Because he has A+ potential and he's already very good. But I wanted him because he's like Kevin Garnett, and I always wanted Kevin Garnett because Kevin Garnett's mid-range and post-game were both very good, like even better than Dirk's. So you could hit post hook, post fade, free throw. That's something Brook Lopez could do. But Kevin Garnett had that no trade clause. That was on, so like even whenever I did Trade Finder, he came up and I tried to get him, and they were like, "Oh wait, we just forgot, you can't trade for him." But with Brook Lopez, it's like, oh yeah, you can have Brook Lopez, just give up your star players. So I'm like, okay then, no. Like, I think it would be easier to get Deron Williams than to get Brook Lopez. And I strip him with Damian Lillard. Easy dunk right there. Pulling ahead a little bit.
And you really don't want to give up too many dunks like that.
Intensity of 51.
That's making it way too easy for sure.
Yeah, major breakdown defensively. They've got a tight
This is there to talk about.
That was a great angle we just saw, courtesy of Sprite. The 11-footer.
I guess I could talk about what I'm going to do once 2K14 comes out. I'm thinking I'm going to start my career and an association. An 82-game association, I'm going to pick one team. And I got to do it before all the season trades go down.
And Taylor subbed in for Darren Williams.
And I'm thinking about what team I should use. I'm thinking the Golden State Warriors. Because with them having Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Stephen Curry, David Lee, Andrew Bogut, and definitely Andre Iguodala. Again, another one of my favorite players. I think that would be fun. The Pelicans.
Even with the D lurking.
I got to know the Pelicans very well with my careers because my two made my careers. One of them got the 10th pick in the draft, the other one got the first. So they have Eric Gordon, the Brow, Tyreek Evans, and now they have Drew Holiday, which is a terrific pickup. And then another team I might be thinking about is the Pistons. Because with them having Josh Smith and Brendan Jennings, maybe the Mavericks with Monte. I don't know. But there's just no way they're gonna let those teams be overpowered. Like the Brooklyn Nets. I have no idea. Maybe there's somebody else in the NBA named Paul Pierce because There's no way they got him for that little.
Wow. Yeah, we're still.
But there are teams that are going to be falling apart. They're gonna turn to
New
Bobcats.
group in for the Nets.
Some of those teams are like
Evans comes in for
definitely the Bucks, losing Monte Ellis and Brendan Jennings.
And it's
Um,
for Taylor. And Portland with a change here too. Jawan Johnson's
Oh, what
checked in
team?
for
What team is it?
And the shot is good. And it's a 3-point Nets lead.
The Hawks
Trailblazers have
losing
gone
Josh
shooting
Smith.
the ball here in the second.
Brooke Lopez drafted 10th by the Nets back in 2000.
Whenever I do some of my associations where I just simulate, it's 82 games, I just simulate it, and they'll go to the year like 2020 or whatever. That's why I say free agency is a bitch, because I'll get people like Jay Smooth, and then it's like, oh yeah, let me just go into free agency and piss you off, and I'm like, okay then. And then I'll get weird ass people. It's just like, hey, see this whole NBA season you got going on here? Let me just screw that over for you. That's what it kind of feels like. I think LaMarcus Aldridge was calling for the lob, so I'm just gonna throw it up to him. Not much of a highlight play, but they still show the replay anyway.
It will be money well spent.
The layup.
Johnson seems to have his sights set high. He said, quote, "It's
So-
easy to be good, but it's hard to be great."
It's very interesting because I did not really get. I didn't really start watching the NBA.
To get better. Kevin, if
Like,
he can-
my only knowledge of the NBA is based off of this game,
like geniuses.
what my neighbors have told me who are kind of NBA fans, and the playoffs. Like, literally at the start of the playoffs, I was like, I'm going to root for the Spurs because I kicked my neighbor's ass whenever I picked the Spurs and they picked the Thunder. So, like, let me root for the Spurs, and everyone else is like, no, Thunder or Knicks or Heat or something like that, they're going to obviously win. And I'm like, sure. And then they were 25 seconds away. I was 25 seconds away from proving everyone wrong, but no. The Spurs choked. Biggest choke in history, so.
Pursuing the ball. You know, he's big, he's tall, but he's got to use that length on the glass.
It's going to be very interesting because whenever I watch the NBA regular season, it's going to be my first regular season, and I live near Baton Rouge, so I only get to see New Orleans Pelicans games, so I was kind of mad about that. But then whenever they got Drew Holiday, I was like, oh. No, it wasn't like all, but
Well, you gotta love the effort though. Almost showtime.
I was like, oh yeah.
Portland Trailblazers nickname might.
I'm hoping I can get some.
of being a dominant road
I'm
team.
hoping
Not so
1 year or something like that I can get
last year. Dreadful
some.
on the road.
Oh, I thought I was about to reverse slam it. I can get some tickets maybe to the Spurs because they're not that far away from New Orleans or from Baton Rouge, whatever. Wherever I live.
Clark to back you up. Portland on the road a year ago. You're right. 8 and 20.
Oh, I didn't even know I was gonna pass it to Monte Ellis right there. I thought I was gonna pass it to Marcus Aldridge. Alright, let me get back focused on the game.
Yeah, they sort of fell apart.
That Euro step fading shot that always goes in, which is kind of stupid.
Second worst in the West.
I don't see why the CPU would do it. I see why other teams. I see why regular people would do it. I don't see why the CPU would.
And the basket by Lillard.
In the first, he had trouble hitting.
And I think it was pretty funny, going back to the 2K14 gameplay, how they were talking about the issues that they fixed,
Under 50% shooting. And the first time out
and
for Brooklyn.
Chris Smoove had some suggestions for 2K14.
Because the move to Brooklyn.
And Ronnie 2K was like, okay, let me fix those. For instance, the leaning layup. And he was talking more about the spacing. He was talking about the better defense and stuff like that. He was talking about how you can't just walk back and forth and shoot threes. And it's like, that's exactly what Chris Smoove said was the problem. And it was a problem. So, I thought that was pretty funny.
Darren Williams is subbed in for C.J. Watson.
So,
Around 50% for the game and 3-pointers.
and then how Ronnie 2K was using some of Chris Smoove's phrases. He used splash, but I mean that's not really Chris Smoove's patented phrase. Some other people use that for him, like commentators, but he was like, why not let it fly? And I was like, oh my god, that sounds so stupid because he's like,
You can certainly call them a big
he's not American or something like that.
Probably be interested
Oh, I should have made that with Monte Ellis. Alright, let me get back to this game now.
in their favor now.
I just looked at the score, and they are killing us a little bit.
To me has been they've
Oh my god.
It's that simple.
Joe Johnson, I really hate him because he's good on every team but my team. So, kind of like LaMarcus Aldridge. So this part 1 of this video is about to come to an end. I just hopped up with Damian Lillard. Oh,
The Nets taking it the
I'm
other
just gonna break the video into 2 parts, like I did accidentally in the first video, except I'll do it on purpose.
out of bounds. Next ball
Okay,
is
knocks that out of bounds.
here on the 2K leaderboard of the rebounding leaders from a season ago. Well, you look at Humphries.
36 to 46. I don't know. I barely even look at the score. I only look at the score whenever it's like
numbers were
in the 4th quarter, and I'm just like, is this gonna be a close game? Is it not a close game?
It's Williams.
Or I think it's pretty funny whenever I don't even look at what quarter it is, and I see that it's a close game. So I'm like calling timeouts, and I'm trying to set up my clutch offense and defense and stuff. And then right whenever the buzzer sounds, I'm like, why didn't they throw up a shot at the buzzer? And it's like, after the end of the 3rd quarter, nice lob right there, he reverses it. That's another generic lob, but it's still fun to see every time. But it's like, after the end of the 3rd quarter, so I'm just like, at least I tried that hard for the lead in the 3rd quarter. So the first half has definitely come to an end. Kickball violation.
Some changes for Brooklyn. Marshawn Brooks comes in for Keith Bogans. And
So,
Taylor subbed in for Darren Williams.
like last video, the scoring is basically distributed whenever there is scoring, but right now, you can see our team is kind of
Defense at that. And the Nets lead by
not doing its best. Hoping we can come with a little
Here's
comeback right here. Maybe I could try that comeback lineup now. Yeah, I'll make the substitutions at the half. Gonna waste every second of that shot clock. Go for 3. Mo Williams, yes. 2 seconds left.
Here's Taylor.
Oh, if he would have made that and I was in his face, I would have been so mad. So that's the end of the first half, and this is going to be the end of this video. So see you in about a few seconds.
Beginning of the 3rd quarter.